action. The one, the only.
In the life with Steve Stanulis. In the life with Steve Stanulis. In the life with Steve Stanulis. In the life with Steve Stanulis.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to announce another dear friend of mine discussing a new film from Kick-Ass 2 and now from Pretty Soon Networker. And we're going to discuss a couple things as well. Let's get it from Miss Deborah Twiss. Yeah. So Deborah, just tell me what's going on. I know you have something coming up that you want to promote, so let's just talk about that film first, and we'll get into all that stuff. So let's talk about what's coming up.
Right now we're in final post-production for a supernatural thriller that I wrote and star in opposite Eric Roberts and Kat Moriarty. And it's actually based on a true haunting that we experienced at a relative in Brooklyn that we lived in. So we're taking that to Cannes, provided all goes well in the coming weeks with color correcting and final sound.
So just tell us, well, before we even get into that, let's go back. And the question I always ask is when you, as a kid, when you say I want to be an actor, were you something that was supported by your family? Was your mom like, go for it, your dad, or was it more like, get a real job and, follow your dream on your own time type of thing?
They didn't really know what I wanted. When I was 3, I looked at the television and decided that when I grew up, I'd be living inside there with those people that were having so much fun. And my path that I let my parents think I had was that I was going to be a plastic surgeon for burn victims. But I was writing and acting a lot, and then I got a scholarship to go to NYU for acting. And my parents were like, what? And then my dad said, oh my God, you're just going to be, another one of the hundreds of thousands of people that go to New York or LA and you're going to end up waitressing or driving a taxi. And I was like, Daddy, I'll make my own movies.
And there you go, and that's basically what you've done. Now just tell us about your whole process of once you got out. Just tell us how you broke into your first gig and how that went. Because most of our people that watch are in the industry, so just tell us how your first big break came to pass.
Well, my first big break actually was something I created on my own, and I wrote a script called A Gun for Jennifer, and the guy that I was dating at the time, we developed it into a full feature script, and I actually raised money stripping.
Yes, we have a whole stripping bond in common, yes. And we're going to do something together with that too down the line, but yes.
And, but the thing is, I didn't just, dance for dollars. I would sit at the bar and talk to guys about making movies. And they were so enthralled about the whole idea that they would just give me money to sit there and keep talking to them about making movies.
And that kind of grew and kind of took on its own life.
Yeah, but we shot A Gun for Jennifer, and it did really well. It went to 20 different film festivals all over the world, and still to this day a cult film. They show it in Paris for Belle de Jour. I mean, it's crazy,
That is pretty crazy. That is crazy. And now, like I said, we're doing a new film called The Networker, which obviously we're going to be playing opposite each other, and we have an amazing cast. So just, obviously there was no audition process for you, but just describe Mr. John Gallagher and our relationship with him and how you feel now bringing John aboard after all the circumstances.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing because the whole thing that brought us together was John getting burned in the fire. And Brian Kelly called me and said, oh my God, Deb, did you hear what happened to John? I was like, no, what happened? And he said 2 nights ago, John was in this horrible apartment fire. And it was only 3 nights before that I talked to John on the phone for hours. And he sounded really upset and everything. So I knew exactly what had happened psychologically for him. And Brian told me, he's like, me, you, and Steve are the only people that know. And he's like, if you need to know anything else, just text Steve. And immediately I was like, oh, okay, I will. And then I started texting you, and then we just sort of found our friendship through suffering for John, basically. And And the really wonderful thing is that now, today you just announced that John's going to be the director, which is amazing because it's going to be his first thing out after having gone through this horrific experience where he almost died. I mean, he told me he had a 4% chance of living. You know, I mean, he was in a coma for a month.
And what happened was, you know, he can't, you know, he's in recovery, and basically when I spoke to him today, he basically said, this is his reason for getting better. So John, we love you. I know you're gonna be watching this, so we can't wait to have you aboard. And you just tell us now you're going to Sundance, right?
No,
Cannes, I'm sorry, Cannes. So just tell us about Cannes, and you know, obviously, to get a movie in Cannes for everybody who knows out there, it's pretty hard. So
this is the market.
Well, it is the market, but just tell us how that whole process went.
Well, that's the first place that I ever showed my movie, Gun for Jennifer. Oh, I think I'm on. Hello? The first place that I ever showed my film, Gun for Jennifer, was in Cannes, on the market, because we did these pre-screenings for Critics Week, and they screened 5 films. They asked to have sent to Paris, and of those they would select 3 to get into Critics Week in Cannes. And our little movie was one of the 5, and of course we didn't get into Critics Week, but then the salesperson approached us and said, you really should do the market, because, you know, for it to be that good, there's something to it. So we discovered the Cannes market in '96, and then I went consistently up until 2002 when I had my son, and then took some time off to, like, you know, just act or just make movies, and then I started going again. But the Cannes market is just one of the best places in the world to premiere your film and get it to as many distributors as you can in just this very short period of time, and festivals too. Because all these people, you know, they cram into this tiny little town at the, you know, edge of the Mediterranean, and they're looking for product, and it's the best place to do it. And I personally, I've been to Sundance. I like it way better than Sundance because I really don't like the snow.
That's awesome. Now, before we let you go, just let everybody know out there how they can find you and how somebody can reach out to you without giving away too much personal information.
My social security number. I'm on Facebook, Deborah, Deborah Twiss, Twiss, and also I have a website, DeborahTwissActress.com, and through Steve.
There you go. So once again, we are on location at the DL one more time. Amazing location, great networking event. Let's get it up for the one, the only, Miss Deborah Twiss. Big round of applause. We'll be back in 2 minutes and 2 seconds.